evening. Sitting down tonight with a beer. It's Friday night. About a third of the way through this one. The Electron Digitakt. And I'm not drinking alone, so I brought SpongeBob to have one with me, so I don't feel too lonely in the middle of this situation we're going through right now. Wife's at work tonight at the hospital doing her thing, so kids are in bed. Dog's asleep, I think, too, so got some time to have a beer to myself, play around with the Digitakt, show you a couple things, and have a little fun. Pardon me while I have a sip there. Anyways, let's get started here. So this is just a very simple loop I put together on here, and you know, I use this book. I have this 260 drum machine patterns to pick 2 pop loops out of there and for the drums, and added a guitar on top of it. So I'll break through how I built this to just give you a kind of the Cliff's Notes on what this thing can do very easily, and then we'll try maybe check out another kind of more non-traditional thing I put together, and then we'll build some stuff for fun. Alright, let's see. So beyond this thing that will loop continuously, I added a couple of other sounds in here. So I can trigger it like that, not too exciting, but what is kind of fun with this thing is I can hold down function and the track button here, just push the track down once quick, and I bring up chromatic mode, which gives me a little keyboard I can play a sample on. Doesn't sound too good, let's bring it up a little bit. So I can control the octave with these arrow keys here, so it's a little... enough. Turn that off by holding down function again and pushing track quick. Disables chromatic mode, and it's pretty easy to tell when you're in there. It lights up like that, and also this light here will turn on. And then this one I was kind of a little bit proud of. It's silly, but that's not the sample. I'm doing some trig locks, which I'll get into in a sec to basically jumble up a sample. So it's actually, the sample is this. Well, no, it's not that. Sample 51s. So let's go down here to sample 51, which is from Link's Awakening, the old Game Boy game. For fun, let's throw in chromatic mode. No, that's not gonna work. Oh, well, let's see. Oh, Jesus. Alright, so how the hell did I take this and turn it into this? Wow, there's a little trick going on, because what I've done, so if I don't play the loop, watch, and I play it in chromatic mode now, it's string sound, right? Fun in its own right. Let's see if it didn't bring it over because I imported it. So I came up with this string sound, right? And I saved it not as a sample, but so one of the nice things that this machine allows you to do is, yes, you have your samples in there, but if you manipulate a sample, which we'll get into in a little bit, and you really like how it sounds, you can actually save it in this sound pool. So you have your samples in one area of this device, but also your sound pool in the other area, which lets you, it comes with some stock ones, which you can hear here. So these are all the stock ones, but now that I've been playing for a week or two, I've added two of my own from the strings there. And the lead sound I came up there doesn't sound too great there. So let's just exit out of this project. So the way it's built is you have multiple projects, and they're kind of their own separate things. So when I came up with these sounds, I was working in my Zelda project, which I have samples in the available slots from Link's Awakening. And let's see if we can find it here. Let's turn off chromatic mode. There it is here. Does it keep? Oh my things. Yeah, so it might have been on the other one. So it doesn't start right at the beginning. It starts, so if I change this to the beginning, nothing happens, right? But the length is very small, right? So this is the actual sample, and I have it playing continuously, right? So let's turn that off. So that's the actual sample. But what I've done to manipulate that is I have it playing forward over and over again. But I've chopped it down so small that it's actually kind of just like an oscillator in a way, like its own little waveform that I can then manipulate chromatically. Now that's not exactly where it was. Close enough. I'm not even using an LFO on it, so it's just, all I'm doing is just taking that sample and basically chopping it down to such a small piece of the sample. You can see there, you can't even see. So you can either do it through these, or you can do it with the actual waveform in here. So this is a better probably way to visualize what I'm actually doing. So I'm making it such a small part of the sample that's it's basically turning it into a wave. Then I can use this like almost a mini synth, which is what I've done for this. And then I was happy with the sound, and I went into here. I won't do it again, but you can, through this little ... menu, there's this import export. When you come up with something you like, you go export that sound, and then you can save it into your sound pool. Anyway, so that's what I came up with, but then I'm doing another trick. So let's get out of this project. So I go back into the gear menu, go to my projects, load projects, drum machine, bye-bye Zelda, and no, I don't want to save it because I like what I've done there. But if for some reason I did mess up that sound, I can always load it back in because now it's in my sound pool. Anyways, let's go back to here. What do we got going on here? So we're back to our more traditional drum loop. Alright, so that explains how I came up with the bass sound for this, right? But how do I turn that when I push play into this silly thing? So one of the nice things this thing has is it's got, I think they're called parameter locks or trigger locks. And you can see there's 4 pages in here. So let me just turn that off so I don't burn your eyes out. Whatever, it's fine. It's bugging me because I'm sitting in the dark. So I can cycle through the pages, right? So if I hit record, there's page 1, 2, 3, and 4. And each of these pages is a 16-bar loop. And you can see if I go into the trig menu and I hold one of these down, well, some things are happening there, but where the actual magic is happening is when this was recording, I was screwing around with the tune. So, and I'll show you how I did that in a sec, because we'll reproduce it. But basically, you can see each of these trigs as it goes through when I hit play is going to take the sound and mess with the tuning as I was basically screwing around the knob while the record button was pushed. So, which is kind of fun because I think I handle it. Let's just turn off chromatic mode, and let's just take the same sample we have here, right? So I'll just do a demo again of what it's doing. Oops. And you can also do some manual manipulation too. Doesn't sound too great. Let me turn the chromatic mode back on here. can have fun like that, right? All right. So how the heck did we do that? So let's go ahead and try it ourselves. So let's turn off chromatic mode. Let's go. Okay, so we have the sample as is there. So I don't want to do the whole setup again. So like I've said, I have saved it in my sound pool. So I'll add it back in by holding down function. You spin this knob. Actually, I'm like, go hit yes, please load that in. And I should have my strings. Let's try it out. Cool. So if I hit play, we're going to get that cool effect, right? Not quite. Because we haven't. If we hit record here, we have nothing in our pages. So let's go ahead and do that exact same thing we did for the other one. And I'll show you how easy it is. So I'll hit play, I'll hit record, and all I got to do, oops, pardon me, not that simple. I got to do, hold down record, and hit play. Pardon me. This is basically what I'm going to do. Just tweak this around, maybe a little bit more violently, see what the difference is. And let it go through all the pages. All right. Perfect. So let's try it out now. Maybe we don't like those lows, so let's filter them out. Still not great, but maybe we'll throw an LFO in there too to make it even a little bit more silly. So maybe we want to get rid of that. Alright, this is not sounding good. So you get the idea though how you set it up. I just got lucky the first time I set it up. I must have tweaked the knob just right to keep it in a happy zone, where the second time I got a little too violent with the tuning up and down and it got a little away from me. Alright. Some other simple little tricks I like to do. So this is our drum part. Let's see if I did it right. So one thing I like to do on my drum parts is I like to apply the LFO to the sample level. And why I like to do that is I like to just tweak it a little bit. So maybe 8.4 is a bit much, but basically what I can use the LFO for when against a drum part is when you play a drum, you're not always hitting the drum at the same, level and in the same place, the same strength. A human playing the drum is going to be a little varied on the actual strength against the hit and where it's hit. And so I can use the LFO to try to mimic that on the drum machine. And one way I like to do that is, I'll assign it to the sample level. I will, maybe 8's a bit much, but, actually it works for this one. So we'll leave it at 8. And what you want to do is, so with the trig mode, what does this mean? When it's free, it's basically the wave is just going to keep going no matter what, anything happens. So the LFO, low frequency oscillator, is kind of like an automatic knob tuning thing. And it's just like a wave, just like any other sound wave. So it's slowly moving up and down in that box. But if I leave it on that mode, the speed on here is set to near 0. So it's going to slowly go. And I don't really want that. What I've done is I said every time, a note is played or a trigger event happens, I want it to start the wave back at 0. And why I've done that is because the wave is random. So what I'm trying to do is I'm using the LFO as basically a way to apply a randomized kind of, level of the drum hit to mimic a more realistic style of playing the drums versus a machine that's always hitting it at the exact same level at the exact same time. I can try to make it sound a little bit more human with this LFO. And so the way I've done that is I've applied a little bit of depth against the sample level. I'm having it every time a note is hit, it's going to pick a random value between -8 to +8 to adjust the sound of it. So let's mute everything to see if we can tell with our ears what's going on. So this is this sound. So you might not be so obvious of everything going, maybe. So let's get in the mute mode here. So let's really crank it up. So obviously that's not realistic. 8 might be even a bit much, unless it's a really bad drummer. So that's a trick I like to do. All right, something a little bit more out there is one thing I like to do with these sample and bass machines is I like to just use traditional samples to make little beats like that. Whoops. But sometimes I also like to use non-traditional samples like video game sounds or whatnot to screw around and see what I come up with. So I have one project right now that I'm basically using the drum patterns in this book and, adding silly little things on the side to just have a little fun, but also I can always mute those, like the guitar sounds or the other things I have going on, and just use it as, because really what I want to use this in my setup is my drum machine, but it can also do a couple other tricks too, which is nice. But let's go ahead, enough me gabbing. Let's get in the Zelda folder here, or Zelda project. Yeah, cool. So you can see I came up with this quick one. I think I played a couple of the samples out of there before for you, but it's a little bit different. That doesn't sound good. So yeah, it's different. I'm not sure how much I love it. In fact, I called it "Is it good?" Like I couldn't tell. It needs work, is what it should be called. I think there's some potential there. It's unique, but basically you can see I'm basically using sounds from the old Link's Awakening Game Boy game. That was one of the ones that I heavily modified with this one too. So the actual, that's the only drum parts going on. Anyways, it's kind of fun. All right, well, that's enough demonstration. And eventually, I don't know. I'm debating if I should do a tutorial on this or a quick start guide. You know, Cuckoo's already got one up. It's what I use to kind of get my grips with these devices. But I don't know. We'll see. I might do a quick start guide, like a proper one at some point here. I'm just having fun tonight. We'll see. Got lots of ideas. Finding the time and getting them all done seems to be the problem. So let's have a little fun with this drum machine book. I'm nerding out here. I got a couple dice, so let's roll up and we'll see what page we're going on to. So we got, what do we got here? 15. Page 15. No tricks, I swear. So what is on page 15 of this book? Page 15. Ooh, some boogie. Okay, interesting. What do we got here? 4/4 time. We want to do boogie 1, 2, and 3. Well, let's program them all in here. So you're just gonna have to take my word for it. But I will program these in because I'm not sure how to get the book and the Digitakt. Move it up here a little bit. So we're gonna program boogie 1 here. So we got, it's pretty simple steps. So let's go back to our more traditional thing. Unless you want me to do the link stuff. I don't know. The link stuff comes through a little rough. It takes a lot of time to, pardon me, drinking too much beer to put together. So let's just go back to our kind of traditional project here. So where are we at here? Maybe we'll start a new project. Because then I can show you how I pull in the samples and other things, which we haven't done yet. All right. Load project. Create new. Yes, please. Save Zelda before loading. No. My changes will be lost. That's okay. I didn't do anything I want to save. So when you switch projects, if you don't save the project, everything you've done in that project will be lost. And if you want to save a project, which I'll do here, we'll save the project as... we'll go down. So we have quite a few project slots. I'm not sure how many you can fill up. What is this project? What are we going to call this project? We'll call it the beer project. So, beer. Beer project. Hey, it's meant to be. Oh, except I'm going to write over it now because I hit down. What if I... Nope. Oh, I ruined it all. Okay, so what do I do now? I'll just go back there. I'm having trouble finding the P. I swear I haven't even finished my first beer yet. That's sad. There we go. Okay, what do we got? So when we start a new project, it's pretty bare bones. So these are kind of the sounds it gives you to begin with. So I only have these 8 sounds in. These come from the stock sounds that are already on the machine. Let's go to our sample management, gearbox samples. Yes. Let's view the RAM. So the RAM, so when you go into this sample menu, you can either view the RAM or the plus drive. So the plus drive is the whole hardware. So this thing has about like a small hard drive in it. I think it's about around a gigabyte or whatnot. And that's the plus drive. So, and it also has some RAM. So your projects are driven, all the sounds, all the samples have to be pushed to the project RAM. So let's clear. So I'm on the RAM right now. I'm going to go select all. So it's selected everything in there and I go unload. So that's clearing all the samples out of the RAM for this project. Uh-oh, what did I just do? Did I just do something simple? View plus drive. Okay, cool, whatever. So it has a bunch of factory installed drum synths and other things, but I've loaded some of my own in here. And we're going to play around with those. So I'm going to zoom in here because most of this is going to be menu driven, and I don't know how well that's going to focus. We'll try it. Because this is probably an easier way to see when I'm screwing around in the menu. So, and I just hit a button. All right, cool. So, why I have 2 of these is you can see I loaded one on 2020. What is this? 20 at the end of December there, and one in January. So, this one in January doesn't have too many things into it. So let's get, this is the big guy. What I want to throw in here is, better talk quieter, wake my kids up. Oh geez, they don't like the music, I don't think. If you have a cut in the video, you'll know why. Make sure this is actually still running cool. Yeah. Sorry, I'm just trying to make sure. Yeah, this is the Lin drum, I believe, which I want to load in. So, what kit? The clean kit? That's a little boring. What are we doing here again? A boogie. Let's make it a juicy boogie. Select these. This will be our drum kit. Load to project. Yes, please. Load these 16 samples. Please do. Okay, we got our drums, and that will get us started. After we get our drum, basically loops programmed, then we'll throw some other samples in there and see what we got. So let's zoom back out. And you probably don't care about the book. You're going to probably care about what I'm trying to do here. So let's see, can I focus in on that screen? I see why people do the double camera shoot of that screen, because it is hard to see. Okay. Now, zoom out again. So, I like the fish tank. Okay. Get the book out of the way. Who cares about the book? You'll be able to see what I'm doing anyways. We're going to put Boogie 1, 2, and 3 in. So I think we'll do Boogie 1 on pages 1, 2, Boogie 2 on page 3, and Boogie 3 on page 4. That will give us probably a nice little loop going on there. Yeah, whatever. Do you really care about the fish tank? Probably not. Okay. So what are we doing here? We need a symbol on step 1, 5, 9, and 13. So let's go ahead and program that in. We'll put it in sample 1 here. So nothing's happening. Well, because we got to get an actual part to it. Do we have a symbol in here? Snare drum, rim shot, open hat, conga. Oh, that's not a good start. I might have hooped us here. Do I have a symbol somewhere? I might have to pick a different drum kit. Symbol. Let's go back. Might have to borrow from another drum kit, so we'll go back to our samples here. Pardon with me. Is there a symbol on the Lin drum? Yeah, let's try my drumulator, because I like the drumulator too. Clean, closed hat, clamp, clean. There we go. We'll borrow the... Perfect. Thank you. Okay, cool. Back to our regularly scheduled programming. Symbol. Oops. Cool. And where do we want this? We want it on part 1, 5, 9, and 13. Okay. Very simple. All right, what's next? The snare drum. Cool. Now I'm not sure how these two drum kits are going to merge together, but you know what? We'll deal with it. And this is going on 5 and 13. This tempo feels a little fast for a boogie, so let's slow that down a bit. That's the volume. Sure. And we need the bass drum. And that's the drum loop. Now the cymbal seems a little too powerful. And And why is that? Well, it's from the drum emulator. So let's see if we can put in the, swap out that part. So. Rim shot, maybe. What if we try a retrig on that? So I can go to these triggers. If I hit the trigger, let's turn the retrig on that. Oh, that's a bit too many. That's kind of fun. So let's add in another page, and we'll automatically copy what we've done on this page to that page. And we'll turn the retrig off this one because it's going to get a little repetitive over and over again. I like that. Okay, cool. So instead of using the cymbal, we use the rim shot. And I'm just going to grab another beer while I leave you that for a second. All right. And where are we? Okay, Boogie 2. Let's put Boogie 2 in. So let's go ahead. Add ourselves another page. Thank you. Stop for a sec. Clear out our drum parts for these guys. So page 3 should be silent. Perfect. See? We're getting there. So now we're going to put Boogie 2 into page 3. So we'll... Alright, record page 3. What do we need first? We need our cymbal or our rim shot. Where are we right now? Okay, cool. And it wants this in part 1, 4, 5, 8, 9, 12, 13, 16. Cool. Cool. And what are we doing with our snare drum? It is going on parts 5 and 13. Same as the other one. Yep. So that's not going to be much different, but our bass drum is going to be a little different. It's only going to be on 1, 9, and 13. All right. You know what? We won't bother with Boogie 3. We'll see how this sounds first. I don't know if I love Boogie 2. I do like Boogie 1. It's actually going okay. See, that's not bad. And the nice thing about this too is we have a whole bunch of different other parts to throw in there, which will be fun. And yeah, well, you know, I'm not going to mess around with this because then I have to go in all the other parts and trigger and set them up. It's going to take too long. Let's just play around. That's enough doing programming. Let's play around. It's taking too damn long. Get into that at another time. We're going to need some more samples because all we got is drums, and I've had enough drums. You know what? We should do my LFO trick on these drums quick. There's a way to do this all at once, but I don't know it. So basically, I think you can set this up and set it as a default for all the parts, but I don't want to do that technically for all the parts. It's only going to take me a sec to... Cool. Done. Now we can have fun. So let's go back to our samples. What do we got here? Let's try the wasp out. That sounds promising, sure. Sure. Yeah. Too powerful. Yeah. E. U. Cool. Yep. Yep. Sure. Cool. Let's see what we can do with those. 9 wasp samples. Nope. Acid A, so let's just set up a stupidly simple acid loop. Random acid pattern. Put our LFO. And we'll screw. there might be some promising to play in chromatic mode with this, maybe over top of this. And maybe if I could actually play keyboard. I want it to work, but I can't make it work. So one annoying thing about this is each, even though you can play it chromatically, you can't do any chords or anything with these. You're stuck with pretty much a mono machine for each part. You can get around it a couple ways. The RetroKits cable, I think you can put into like your MIDI in and out, and then be able to screw around a bit to get some poly on some of the parts, but nothing I've worked with. And frankly, I got the Digitone that I can kind of assign that stuff to in FM, but we'll see. Enough again, let's play some more music. That's fun. Yeah, let's keep it low. Too low. Let's hear what the hard cutoff sounds like. That's a long sample. Very careful, clear. I don't know how to reset all this on this part. Whatever. We'll leave that part as. That's fine. Oops. Don't stop the drums. It ain't working, ladies and gentlemen. I want to make it work, but it ain't working. I'm losing the flow. Maybe I'm trying to do too much, because this alone is kind of nice. And then I could add something on top of it. You know what? It's been in almost an hour screwing around. I think that's enough. I could probably even chop off the last little bit of this. Anyways, I hope you found some value in there. Hope it was fun. I had fun doing it at least. And I'll catch you next time. I'll probably be working on some more polished, trying to do some actual videos. But now and then I'm going to want to play around like this too. So if you enjoy it, let me know. Otherwise, I'll do less of it on camera and just to myself. Anyways, hope you have a great evening and thanks for tagging along. Take care. Bye.